Hello dear fellows, I'm Evil Punk, this is Forza Motorsport, and this is how to properly react to bad drivers in Forza Motorsport's online multiplayer. This will either be spectacularly good or spectacularly bad. Forza Motorsport's officially been out for a couple days now, and it's on Game Pass from day one. This is a good thing. However, players joining the game from Game Pass, this may be their first racing game. Since it's on Game Pass, and they've got Game Pass already, they might decide they want to try it out. And that being the case, they might not be familiar with racing strategies, tactics, rules, etiquette, and things such like that. So you've got the new players who may have never touched a racing game in their life, and then you've got the choosers, people who choose to be bad on purpose because they're upset and emotional that maybe you're just a little bit better than them. Whatever the case, this is still a racing game, and brushing and bumping is going to happen, regardless whether or not it's on purpose or by accident. Everybody's different, so we're probably not going to all have the same reaction to racing contact. Some people may get angry and want to retaliate, and others may want to let it go as a racing incident and let bygones be bygones. Or maybe some people like the contact. Have you ever heard the phrase, rubbing is racing? That may just be the case for some people. Rubbing, brushing, and bumping is naturally going to happen in motorsport, so they just accept it for what it is. Then you've got people who get bumped and think, you know what, I didn't deserve that, so I'm going to end both our races right now. And then they punt you straight into the barrier, and that's it. Both of your races are over. And I think that generally makes online racing worse. It only contributes to the toxic and predatory nature of online racing today. It's definitely a huge deterrent, and I think a large reason a lot of players tend to stay away from multiplayer in a lot of cases in most racing games. And that really sucks, because the more people we scare away from the game, the less people we have to play it with. Now, I'm not really new to racing games myself, but I am fairly new to playing them online. I've tried a lot of racing games online in the past, and they've just never stuck for me. And part of the reason for that is because of all the intentional shunting and bumping that happens online. And it's just no fun when people do that. Even if you're not having a good race already, you don't need somebody making it worse for you. So while I'm not totally experienced with online racing games, I am familiar with basic strategies, tactics, rules, and etiquettes. So here's my reaction to contact in racing. So I managed to qualify third for this race, which is not that bad considering my online racing experience is pretty minimal. I was a little nervous going into this race because I haven't done many yet. You'll notice directly behind me is Critical Mass, and he gets overtaken off the start by Corridor. Pretty good start, everyone gets away well, and I'm just taking it easy, sizing up the two drivers in front of me because they're battling, and I think I may have an opportunity here. And then I get punted directly behind by Corridor, and I don't think it was Corridor's fault because Critical Mass got the penalty, and you'll see later that Corridor did not get a penalty at all. So Critical Mass is kind of the culprit behind this whole thing, but I don't even think that he did it on purpose, to be totally honest. I think it's just inexperience. Maybe I came into the corner a little too slow. I may have come in a little too cautious. I may have been a little overcautious, which caused Critical Mass to hit Corridor behind me. But by this point, I'm no longer nervous. Now I'm kind of angry because my potential podium is now 9 positions away from where I just was, starting in third place. But I'm no longer nervous. So it's kind of like an adrenaline boost. I'm no longer thinking of what could happen because it's happened already. So now I'm only focused on making the positions back. And I've already gotten past a couple of drivers. I don't know if they had a racing incident or if they just braked too late and launched off of the track. So now this is a complete recovery drive. I'm at the back of the pack, and I'm only focused on gaining the positions back. Amster's run deep, he's gone wide, and I did get a little nervous passing him. I don't know if he was trying to get back to the racing line or what, but he was close to making contact with me there. But here I am. I'm already up 3 positions in just 1 lap, and it's an 8-lap race. So now I'm trying to catch these guys. I'm confident I've got the pace because I qualified ahead of all of them. Alright, so I've got a pretty good gaggle of cars ahead of me. So Critical Mass has chosen to go defensive here very early. Maybe he didn't want to give me the tow, I'm not quite sure. But I got the better line through the final corner, and I got a good slipstream from Critical Mass. But I'm not totally familiar with turn 1 yet, so I kind of braked a little too early. I'm, again, maybe being a little bit overcautious. But I'm still confident I've got the pace to get past all these guys. We all make it through turn 2 pretty well, not much happening between turns 2 and 3. I'm looking ahead now and I sense an opportunity coming, and sure enough somebody locks up and hits the back of another car, somebody else runs wide and goes off the track. The poor guy gets hit coming back onto the track and he just gets left in the dust, but now I'm up into 8th place. I'm keeping my head in the chaos and staying focused on my racing line, and the 3 cars battling in front of me, they all go wide, and this gives me a chance at more positions. I already moved up into 7th, and they're all out of sync, so this is looking pretty good for 6th as well. But he's not going to give it up easily. He's defending, he's pushing me wide, but I've still got the better racing line, so I come out of the final corner with more speed and of course get the slipstream from Critical Mass. And by this point I'm starting to figure out the first turn much better. I'm not sure Critical Mass, he kind of takes me by surprise here. I thought I had the move done, but he's coming back at me, but it felt like I got by him a little bit easy into turn 1. I'm not sure if he didn't want to make the contact again, or maybe he was being a little overcautious, but we got the move done, now up into 5th place. Still 4 laps to go, and we've already passed half the field. Now, Jacobame, he's no pushover. It's going to take some work to catch this guy. I don't know how you say his name, that was my attempt, but I'm talking about the car in 4th place. So this whole race has been a learning process for me. I've never been on this track before. And we can see the 3rd place car just in front of Jacobame, and we'll see this familiar face once again, and it's Corridor, and you'll see that he has no penalty, just like I'd mentioned in the beginning of the video. Alright, so now all the chaos is behind us, and we've got a race on our hands now. I'm catching up to Jacobame, but not as quickly as I'd caught up to the rest of the field. It helped that they were having a lot of accidents, but not only am I struggling a little bit to catch up to Jacobame, Corridor is right on me. So both of these cars a little more skilled than the rest of the field was up to this point, so now we've got a race. I'm not so much worried about defending, I'm more looking to get the position and finish in 3rd place. Trying not to make any mistakes here. Jacobame comes out of he takes it a little tight. I'm carrying a little more speed through the corner, so not only am I about to have the slipstream on the front straight, I've also got the speed advantage even before we make it to the straight. Turn 1's a fast corner. I haven't exactly figured out my reference for this corner yet, but Jacobame, he's being cautious and he's braked kind of early, I felt like, and I managed to get past him quite easily into turn 1 on that occasion. And so after 6 laps of racing, after the big turn 1 incident that dropped me from 3rd place all the way down into last place in 12th position, I've managed to fight my way through the pack all the way back to my starting position. And I can't help but feel that I may have been on for more than a podium position considering my pace by this point. They're only 12 seconds ahead of me, and I had to fight through the field, and they've had open track. Alright, look at us go. Final lap, and nothing's really happened between passing Jacobame and now. I did close the gap by 6 seconds to the 2nd place car, so I think if not first, I had a pretty good chance to get 2nd if the first lap incident didn't happen. But hey, I still managed to finish on the podium, which is pretty good, all things considered that happened in the race. It was a little chaotic in the beginning, actually quite chaotic. But third place finish, yay me. Not only did I fight my way all the way back to third place, I managed to snag the fastest lap for the entire race, which was also a clean lap, so it feels pretty good. And no penalties. What an exceptional drive. I'm Evil Punk. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.